Today, it's the Iranians are at 60% uranium. Oh, I guess it was supposed to be at 5% under the JCPOA. But don't worry, because the Biden administration will be happy to announce and release our, and I'm happy to say that, senior advisor, Rick Grenell, former acting director of national intelligence, ambassador to Germany. No problem releasing Rick's emails when there is a FOIA request. Meanwhile, Rick, we've got to go to federal court on almost, I don't think there's been one we haven't had to go to federal court. And yours, the FOIA people and DNI say, okay, here they are.
Look, on a personal note, I hope that all of our listeners decide to give to this lawsuit, because as a reminder, my unclassified emails were asked to be released by a reporter, and the Biden administration under Avril Haines immediately complied, gave up everything. I haven't even been gone a year, and they released all of my unclassified emails. There's two standards for FOIA requests. When a Republican asks, it goes into this black hole of negotiation, and you get nothing for 5, 6, 7 years until the issue passes. And when the Democrats ask, they immediately release this information. Now, this is ridiculous. This is the ways of Washington. But the good news, Jay, is there's nothing in those.
Of course
and
not.
It was released, and all we heard was a big thud.
Yeah, you know what, it is, Rick? You said it. They operate under two systems. Because let me tell you two words we do not have in our FOIA practice. The words immediately released is never a word we hear.
Well, now we have them picking a fight with me, and I happen to be a senior fellow with a senior advisor to ACLJ. So I think what we need to do is launch a sort of a lawsuit against them in a FOIA request to say, wait a minute, what's the standards? What were the standards that you used? And by the way, why don't we request all of Avril Haines right now? Let's ask to have the same standard applied that they applied to me. Let's release all of her unclassified emails. I'd like to know the process that she went through to repackage
That's what I want to know.
The Khashoggi report.
Well, here's what I'd like to do. So this is I'm very serious about this. I said this in our pre-meeting, and I know, Rick, you were in correspondence with some of our people. We would like to file that very lawsuit. I want to know, A, what was the process in which they decided that your emails as the acting director of national intelligence could just be released. Maybe they've got a reason. We'll see. But it's certainly a double standard. And number two, in that same one, let's ask for your predecessor now, your successors. Let's ask for their non-classified emails and see what kind of response we get. I can imagine. Because then we can really show the double standard. But that's why I guarantee you, we will be in federal court on that one.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Hashtag let's use the same standard.
Yeah,
right?
hashtag let's use the same standard. There you go. I'm not so good at the whole hashtag thing because I don't know the whole, I'm not a great, is it Twitterer? I'm not, we do Twitter, but there are people that help me. Let me just say it that way. All right. But those are we're going to do that. This is serious, folks. It's a double standard. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We just filed one today. I was just telling our team here, we could file a new lawsuit every day. Every single day.
We have to have money. We have to have the support to do it, because I will say this. The only way that we can make progress now is through courts and through filing some sort of action that allows us to be treated the same. And these court opinions, these filings actually work. And so I hope people will support us and all of the work of ACLJ, and let's move forward.
Yeah, folks, that's a good reason for me to talk right now about this matching challenge campaign. You realize any amount you donate to the ACLJ, we're going to get a matching gift for, and it allows us to not just bring you these broadcasts or have Rick as part of our team, but to actually litigate these issues, and we're going to do that. Now, at the same time, Rick, there's a group of 18 Republican senators on Tuesday wrote to the FBI director, Chris Wray, and they are seeking information and investigation into President Biden's nominee for undersecretary at the Department of Defense, Colin Kahl. And there's some concern that information that he should not have been publicly talking about was being publicly talked about, which ties in, by the way, to the lawsuit we're filing tomorrow on John Kerry to find out what he was doing during the Trump administration. But on this one right now with the Undersecretary of Defense, what's your sense of this?
Look, this is yet another case of a double standard on leaking and undermining the administration from the other party. I mean, we know that John Kerry was running shadow diplomacy on Iran.
Yep.
We know that that's a fact. But now what we're seeing are people like Colin Kahl, who had leaks given to him, classified information leaks, and he was publicly using it to make points and embarrass and to push the policy in the most dramatic and erroneous way possible. And so there are a group of senators now. I mean, we hardly get 13 senators together, 13 Republican senators on anything. And they have signed a letter saying, we want an investigation of whether or not this information was leaked. We had an epidemic of leaking during the Trump administration. And President Trump was frustrated that people weren't being prosecuted.
Oh, I believe me.
And
I know.
This is a problem, and I think they've got one now. I think they now see the pattern of the leaks, and I think it's right for the GOP senators to not let go of this one.
So the group now is up to 18. So there's 18 U.S. senators now. Yeah. So I was going to ask this to Colonel Wes Smith. You handle classified documentation. There's no wiggle room on releasing that.
Oh, absolutely not, especially at this level. You know, I was reading through some of the reports about this gentleman. I mean, he is going to members of the National Security Council under President Trump's administration, querying them, says he's getting answers, and then tweets the information that he got that he says is from 4 people who at that time were on the NSC. I mean, this is pretty incredible stuff. One of the most sacred things, and Rick knows this as well, when you have classified information, it doesn't matter how important or unimportant it might seem. That is sort of a sacred trust.
Yep.
You absolutely do not share that to anyone who does not have a clearance and a need to know. And I'm sorry, I don't think Twitter has either a clearance or a need to know.
No, let me ask you this, Rick. We got just about a minute left, and that's this. Iran is up to 60, but their negotiators saying they're up to 60% in their centrifuge uranium enrichment programs. You were the ambassador to Germany. Germany has been a big financial partner with Iran on finances here. What would be the reaction of, I would think they would be outraged, but I don't get that. I don't see that.
Well, the Europeans have said publicly multiple times and in written form that they are with us on trying to reach the goal of denying Iran a nuclear weapon. That's been clear. We've always said that we have different tactics on how to get there. Well, this is now evidence that the Europeans should be very upset that for the last several years, big surprise, Iran has been lying to us about centrifuges and enrichment. 2 issues of incredible concern.
Yep.
Now, I'd like to know, did John Kerry know that they were doing this? Was there a shadow campaign? And lastly, our U.S. ambassador to the UN should be calling an emergency Security Council meeting today on this news.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rick Grenell, Senior Advisor to the ACLJ, especially on international affairs and national security. Folks, you heard it from Rick. I'm going to say it again. Your support of the ACLJ is critical. Not only keeps us on the air, but allows us to have people like Rick Grenell as part of our team and allows us to go to court representing your interest, members of the ACLJ, to get to the truth. Support the work of the ACLJ and our matching challenge campaign, aclj.org. Thanks a lot, Rick, for being with us. As always, appreciate your work.